Good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 9835, 98 of
Episode 98.
Coffee and Bullshit. Episode 98. Excuse me. Not showing up yet. Did you go live?
Yeah, it says live.
It does not say it on here. There it is.
Hit the button.
There we go. Hey, everybody.
We have some.
Hey, Doorbell's delivery. Awesome. Always a pleasure to have you joining us. We're going to get it kicked off on. Are we going?
Yeah, we're live on everything.
Hey, episode 98 for all those on Facebook or wherever you're watching other than Instagram.
And YouTube.
So very exciting week. Not an exciting week, but yesterday, good news. The TRO went through.
Yep.
In downstate Illinois. So all the 800 who are on the suit can sell and trade guns, high capacity magazines, and assault weapons.
I want to say I think only 3 were shops out of the 830 or 60.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have thought every gun shop.
But it's only a beginning, so it gives precedence to
push it through the rest.
Right.
I mean, with all the backing of all the sheriffs and everything in this town, you would think it should be not an issue at all.
Which I'm wondering if that happened with other states, right?
Yeah,
like other states sheriffs said the same thing, or
because there's 9 states. There's 9 states that they all got through. I mean, a bunch of them went through the Supreme Court and held up. That's what kind of makes me nervous, and I don't like. You know, through all the challenges within the Supreme Court, they still held up. So it's a little bit scary here.
Well, hopefully, with a 6-3 majority, they have common sense. I mean,
nope, that is not common anymore.
Well, and they can't find the leaker of
yeah. Well, it was funny how they first initially had him. Right, it was an intern. They first dated like, oh, it's this intern. We got him. That's who did it. Now they can't find that person.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means. Like,
they even questioned the judges there too, the Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
You know.
Listen,
I believe it's something on that.
I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's all wrapped up. It's all bullshit. It's all together.
But
nothing happens to anybody who has any political power whatsoever or any kind of money.
Yeah, but most of the conspiracy theories that have been going around for a couple of years have been coming true in the last couple months or years.
A lot of them do. Listen, where's the list from Epstein's Island? Where's all that information?
Yeah.
How'd that just go away? It went away because of all the people who were involved or people that could stop that kind of information from coming out.
And the Biden, his son's
nothing will ever happen.
Computer, right?
Oh yeah, he's paying $50,000 a year for his dad property. No, it wasn't to his dad's, to a house, to rent a house.
To rent a house.
Yeah, okay.
That was the big guy's 10%.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
okay.
10% of.
Yeah,
geez, that's quite a bit of money.
All right, none of that will ever come to light. The truth behind it, none of it will come. And apparently, you can take all the classified documents you want as long as you're not Donald Trump. You can store them at your house. You can put them everywhere. It doesn't matter.
By your Corvette, but it's locked. Your garage.
You can give them
locked.
to your son to sell to Russia. You know, you might just do that. China, whoever you want.
I believe mostly China.
But it's just it's accident. Just didn't know they're there.
Yeah. So it'll be coming an interesting year. See who runs or not runs. Everybody knows Trump is running. Is DeSantis going to run? Nikki Haley.
Yeah. So that's what Dorbliss said. You're right. Everybody has a digital fingerprint. With the most intelligent investigators, right? Yeah, you got the NSA. You got the best people in the world at your disposal, and they can't figure out who it was. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. Our CI can track people across the world and listen in on conversations in an apartment building somewhere in the Middle East from somewhere Washington D.C., but we can't figure out who leaked the information.
I mean, NSA can just pop on your phone and listen to what's going on right now. Well, they're probably recording.
They always are. Every once in a while, I say at night when I'm kind of lonely, I say different keywords just to like give my NSA agent something to do. So I figure like we each have our own that are assigned to us.
Yeah.
Like he's like 2 a.m. He's sleeping on my phone. I'm just like, bomb. Then they start listening.
Off.
Yeah. Then they start listening. He's like, oh wait. I gotta start listening again. I like to do that just to screw with him every once in a while.
Yeah.
He's probably trying to sleep. I wake him up.
Could be. You never know.
Whatever
What
I can do.
else? And should we even tell them about the name we picked? The name that got picked?
Okay, we can.
Or should we wait till later?
I think we should wait till later.
Okay, let's wait till later.
But we narrowed it down to a name. After all the online submissions, we had a bunch of good online submissions. This one was a walk-in that came into our shop, and it was a pretty good name. So we'll see what you guys think of it. But we'll get that coffee rolling as quick as we can. Start generating some dollars for the fight here that we're going to be in, and support some of these legal battles. Whoever's going to have the most impact.
Yeah.
So we protect our own rights.
I don't know why I keep playing with this thing.
I can't stand. You can tell how far we are away from having to fight for those rights because people are so willing to give it up now, and they don't even have no conscience of it, of giving up. They don't even think about it. They just give it away.
They give it up like Gaza Strip.
So really, the whole thing got pushed through. Like I said, I always said it a number of times here, but it was President Adams, right? Before he became president, he was so mad that when we started trying to fight back against the British, we had no guns. We had none. He's like, how do we let ourselves get in this position? How dumb are we? He's like, I cannot believe we let this happen to ourselves. This mistake will never happen again. It wasn't because he wanted an army to have guns. He wanted the citizens to have weapons in case the fact that we didn't have an army, that we could fight against any foreign invaders or anybody who tried to overtake us. And so the well-regulated militia was average citizens of the country at the time that could come together quickly to form a militia. Not that there would be a separate militia separate from the citizens. So they always say it wasn't meant for that. It wasn't meant for time. That time has not changed.
It was meant for hunting.
Yep, right. That's all bullshit. The time has not changed. People are like, it was different times. No, it's not. Our government is even more capable today of becoming a dictatorship than it was back then. So it's even more capable. It's even more powerful. It can happen even faster. So it's so dumb to say time to change. It's just as likely today. Because everybody's so far away from it, they believe that could never happen here. That would never happen. Our government would never become a dictatorship.
Well, as the president said, how are you going to fight off F-15s? The Ukrainians are doing a pretty damn good job of.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job against a well-funded, at time much bigger country militia. It doesn't matter. I'd rather fight them off with an AR than fight them off with a rock. And I'll tell you, it's a bigger threat if everybody has ARs. The first step in forming a dictatorship is always disarm the people.
Disarm the people.
Every time it's happened, that's the first step.
And why do they want to keep disarming people? I mean, it's just.
But the government never takes away the rights. They tell the people to take them away, and people voluntarily give them up. That vote for that ban. We want that. We want guns gone. Their guns are bad. So it's the people who give up their rights. I saw idiot college students a year ago on campus. They were interviewing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think we should get rid of the First Amendment because it allows people to say things that might hurt other people? So like 90% of the people they interview were like, yes, definitely. Microaggressions. And I'm like, are you kidding? Are you really standing on a college campus today saying, yes, you should limit free speech?
And that was like at UC Berkeley.
Stanford, UC Berkeley. UC Berkeley used to be the bastion of free speech in the country at one time.
Yeah.
Now they're the ones who protested Shapiro, get him out of here because he was going to come talk and it was going to hurt their feelings because he didn't agree with them. That's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, and when you can have people up there talking to other people and stay calm while other people are just going crazy yelling stuff.
Right.
Which side is it's on the truth?
Right. You never see the Republicans up there screaming like idiots. This Democratic side who comes up there, screams, interrupts lectures, not have an intelligent debate, scream.
Get mad at people for putting up their own thoughts.
Right.
Because it's not with
If you don't agree with me, you're a Nazi.
Right.
That's the most Nazi fascist behavior I've ever heard in my life is you don't get your free speech because it doesn't agree with me. That's absolute definition of fascism.
Right. And then they want to cry when, oh my God, I can't say this now.
Right.
Nobody's telling you can't say it.
My
freedom of speech.
My mission in life always was to go find something that offends me every day. I try to go find something that offends me every day. Someone who 100% disagrees with me, just to hear their side of it, so I can learn a little bit more. Because I'm always going to be slanted and tilted to my own views, what I've been conditioned to, what I've grown up around. So the best thing I could do is go find somebody who has a different views and just hear it. Maybe I'm wrong. Hear the other side of the point.
Nothing wrong with that. And if you haven't seen too, on YouTube, their new rules on YouTube is if you're showing a firearm, you can't show it being cocked, you can't show it being loaded.
So
Like
Hickok
you're doing
45 videos can't happen anymore.
He can't show him loading up his magazine.
Why? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And if you watch these people that do it, that are professionals pretty much, and they're learning.
I get what the thought is behind it, because you're teaching people who don't know how to use guns. Because now you're teaching this guy how to load a magazine. Because if you need to watch a video to learn how to load a magazine, you're already a moron and you're probably not going to be able to get a gun anyways or shoot anybody with it.
Right. And, the only way you can legally obtain a gun is through your FFL, through a form.
But if you don't know how to load a magazine or put a magazine into a gun, then you have no business being around a gun anyways.
I've seen videos of soldiers putting their magazines in backwards or loading it backwards.
Yeah, but usually it's an accident. They're just in a hurry or something. It's not like, I did watch a guy with an AK in Ukraine who could not figure out for the life of him. Could not get it. Just could not figure it out. And the guys his other two buddies were laughing at him like he could not figure out how to get the magazine in.
Yeah. So Warsaw has joined us.
Yep.
Great news about Effingham. Yep. We talked about that. Positive effect for the state and to improve Illinois. Yep. And 2 other lawsuits that are still pending.
Yep.
Yeah. There's going to.
I know that Israel's pushing one through.
Yeah.
And there's another organization pushing one through. So hopefully.
The GOA. If you don't know anything about the GOA, Gun Owners of America, check them out. I think they're doing a better job than the NRA. NRA now, I think, is just too.
I have not even heard. I've not heard them say a word.
Yeah. I think the GOA is probably the best, one of the best ones to go to, and the something firearms. I can't remember. There was a couple of them. I have it on my phone, but of course my phone's being used. I don't remember the name of them.
So I was laughing because Dorbliss ever said he likes to just say keywords into his Comcast voice remote. That's awesome.
Anything that has a mic.
I don't think we'll do we're not going to do the winner we won't do the name this week because he wants all the runners up. So we'll do that next week. Let's save that for next week.
All right.
We'll do all the runners up. We'll give them all something, and then we'll announce the winner.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take off. Geo has even stated they will help us.
Oh yeah, they have been. I mean,
Hope
I
so.
joined the GOA just about a week ago.
What is it? How long does the TRO last for? Is it 90 days?
No, it's coming up. It's February 1st. They have the next court hearing.
Oh, that's quick.
Yeah, it's only like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks away. 2 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're going to do at the next court case. Does it mean it gets pushed up, or they didn't say
that they have to present some further evidence?
The state
to proceed to trial,
or
because the TRO is we came in shows there's enough evidence that this, I guess, probably should be tested, and then I think the next one is it again a vote to see if it goes to trial. My guess is there's no way there's going to trial February 1st. My guess is it's another hearing to see what additional evidence there might be before proceeding to trial,
or it gets kicked up to the next level.
Yeah, I don't know,
right? Because
I don't know what the process is.
The judge there is only for that area.
I can't believe we don't know what that process is, but
yeah, I don't know what that process is.
I hate being ignorant of that stuff, but
so it'd be interesting to see. I mean, if you want to give up your guns, go right ahead. I mean, it's your choice to.
We are taking collections here at Gun Barrel Coffee. So if you have a assault weapon, an AR style rifle, or one of the ones that's on the list, or high capacity magazines, you are welcome to bring them in here. You just have to sign a transfer order when you come in, and we'll take them here and collect them.
Well, I think we probably have to get an FFL on the spot here.
Why? We could do that. We could set up a day for it.
Yeah, we could. We could do that.
We'll take all the donations of weapons you'd like to give us
that need a good home.
Right. If you guys want to know what specific ammo we need, what kind of guns we're really looking for, I'd like a Ruger Precision long range. So if you have one of those, we'll accept it here for you.
Do you want 6.8 or 308?
No, I want Lapua, the Lapua one.
The 338.
It's a 45-minute angle of difference at 1,000 yards. That's a lot. That's a huge difference.
Well, for 45 minutes to travel, it takes a long time.
That's what it means. But that's a huge difference in accuracy. I can't believe it's that much difference. That's incredible. And anybody who's got a Barrett 50 cal that they're afraid to keep them at their house, bring it here to us.
Yeah,
we'll definitely put it to good use.
We'll give you scrap prices, right?
You get a free bag of coffee for
bag of coffee.
It's the National Gun Turn-In. Free bag of coffee. We'll set up a date. We'll have an FFL here present. So we sign it all away so you guys don't have to hold on to those dangerous weapons and be at risk or pay the $25 registration fee if that's even still.
Oh, wait a second. Can you I don't think you can even with the new laws. I don't think you can.
As long as you run a universal background check, but that's not till what, June?
I want to say so.
I think you can still transfer. But
I don't
know how you'd bring it here though, because I think the problem is, well, the good thing is if you're anywhere here near us, no sheriff will pursue charges for that. So you can just bring it down to us, and we'll bring an FFL on site, and we'll just do it.
You can still take your gun and go to the range.
Do you know that for sure, or are you just saying that?
No, I think you can.
Just so you know, as a disclaimer, nothing we say here is any kind of legal advice.
None of it.
Neither one of us is a lawyer. Ultimately knows what the hell we're talking about. So
I played
guessing
one on
what
TV.
it was. So this is no legal advice. Go look for yourself. Go do your own research. Contact lawyer. Just so we have a disclaimer. So
and then the bump stock, not the bump stock.
Brace.
That's been that, but the brace.
The brace.
Yeah. So it's kind of a double-edged sword on that one, because they're saying you can do your Form 1, send it to them, and it can be processed, But if all these people put their forms in, and yours is not selected to say approved or not approved, and if it's not approved, they can just come to your house and take your weapon away and charge you. Something like that. I don't know. I was listening to something on YouTube about that.
So it's like telling them you have one,
right?
And if they don't approve you, they come to your house and get it.
Correct.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
That's the same problem with the registration. Why? What's probably going to actually happen is this is going to push more guns into the streets, because if you have a gun and you're forced to register it, but you're not supposed to have this gun, right? Sat in your closet for 10 years and no one bothered it. You're going to get rid of it. The only way you can get rid of it is illegally. And so what's going to happen is you're going to sell that gun illegally. That gun's going to be pushed out to the streets because that's the only place it's worth anything of value at this point, because no law-abiding citizen is going to buy it and put themselves in danger of having an unregistered weapon. So this is the best possible way to push guns into the streets illegally. Really great planning.
Well, yeah, I mean, they should really look into, like our sheriff here in Kane County said, more mental health help.
No, we can't do that. No, the danger too is, let's say you were depressed and needed help. If you go try to seek psychological counseling, the first thing they do is put you on the list. They're going to red flag you. They're going to come get your guns. It's going to be on your record. So the next time you ever try to buy a gun, it's going to be an issue because you went to counseling for depression. And if you have counseling for depression, you can't get your FOID card and you can't buy a gun.
Well, I think it has to do more with people that are trying to get a FOID card, but have mental problems.
Yeah, but a mental problem is I'm feeling depressed. So on counseling, it doesn't mean I want to go be a mass shooter because I'm feeling depressed. The problem is when you leave depression untreated for a number of years because the person's afraid of losing their opportunity to own a gun, then they don't do it. And then that becomes a problem. You have to be able to say, you can be depressed. That doesn't mean you're a mass shooter or you're going to cause harm to anybody. You have depression and go get it treated so people don't avoid treatment. And leaving untreated is what causes problems. People don't get the correct medication. They don't get the correct counseling. So the problem just continues to persist. They don't tell anybody. They don't share anything. 10 years later, you have someone who's in a massive downward spiral. And that's when they drive the minivan into the lake. Right? That's just what it is. So, because in this country, we're so worried about that as soon as you have any kind of mental issue, the old thing used to be lock them up and throw away the key. Yeah. Shock the hell out of them until give them a fucking lobotomy until they're done.
Which I wonder when lobotomies were outlawed.
They're not. They're still not outlawed.
You
can still perform. You can still perform a lobotomy. There's one doctor I saw a thing the other day. They lobotomized like 98% of the people who came into the hospital. Like one doctor who started. So his thing was he wanted to prove his right. So anybody who came into the hospital, like the regular hospital, not the mental facility, came in the hospital was like, oh, I've been feeling depressed, like this. Boom, instant lobotomy. They're lobotomizing people left and right. So like 90% of the people this guy saw as a psychiatrist, he lobotomized.
That's kind of strange.
Yeah, that's power unchecked. That's what happens when you give someone that kind of power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely every time.
Right.
It's like our state here. Get them power. This is the first inch. The Sullivan's was first inch. Right. What do they do right after? Oh, now to buy ammo. Now you have to go through an FFL to buy ammo,
which they're trying to pass.
Right. So they got their inch. So now it's, can we take a mile? Is what they did.
Well, I think they got their mile. Now they want to go for the 2 mile mark.
This is the weapons, the Sullivan's band. It's an inch. It looks like a mile right now. I promise it's an inch.
And plus, they keep talking about these assault weapons. They're not assault weapons.
I still want a definition of what assault weapon is.
Yeah, come up with a definition.
Had they never called it Armalite and they called it something else,
right?
That term wouldn't even exist. They should have called it FG, friendly gun. They'd be like, we want to ban the friendly guns. No one would have been behind that. But you give it a scary name and then it's easy to get rid of. Just like
well,
once you name someone who goes to a school board and voices their opinion, you can't say concerned parent. You change it to domestic terrorist. Then you can get rid of them. Then you can toss them out of meetings. Then they don't have the right to say anything. Domestic terrorists, because school boards have way more power than anybody in the state. That's what fascists do. You put a label on them, make them a scary label, and then they're done.
Are they fascists or are they communism, or is it a combination of both?
Fascists. Communism seems more of,
because it seems like the younger people want more communism.
They want socialism.
Communism.
They don't, but they don't understand that socialism they're pushing for
doesn't work.
Communism, right? It becomes communism,
right?
And we think everything's so corrupt here and everything's grease and payoffs. The first thing that happens as soon as you set up a socialist economy, the first thing you create when you do that is a black market economy.
Right.
It's the first thing that happens. Nobody who lives in a 10,000 square foot house is going to voluntarily move into a 800 square foot house and live equal to you. Someone who has $100 million is not going to live equal to the person who's making $20,000 a year, because that's the only way socialism works.
Right. Yeah.
And that will never happen. It doesn't work in Russia. That's not what happens in Russia. Their socialist economy doesn't work. Right. Nowhere does it work.
I always wonder why they try to ban people from Venezuela and Cuba from coming to America, because they know that socialism doesn't work. Right. So they're not going to vote for the other side. They're going to vote for a conservative side.
And there's a quasi-socialism in like the Netherlands that does somewhat work, but they lack the military strength to protect themselves by to be part of NATO. So you can, what do you want to give up? You want to give up some of this for this? I think they do now. The next generation does.
The next generation is just lazy.
That's the God honest truth.
I
read a whole subreddit called Anti-Work. Some of the stuff's legitimate. It's trying to break down some of the old things where your employer treats you like you're dirt. But then the other stuff is like, there's the one guy was on there crying because he was at Starbucks. He worked a 4-hour shift today, and then they had him on for like a 4-hour shift tomorrow. Or maybe it was 8 today and 4 tomorrow. Like he was on crying about like how unbelievable they would schedule him like this.
Yeah, I know, to work a 40-hour week.
I'm like, most people work 10 hours a day, five days a week, at minimum, typically.
Yeah. Right, Bobby? Hey, what's up, bud?
Hey, hope Ron is doing good.
Yeah. Bobby, you only work like 4 hours a day, right? That's all you work. You don't work 10, 12-hour days.
But he's a creative artist. That's what they do.
Oh, creative artist.
He's an artist. He creates art in his shop. Amazing work. Go check out Patriotic Frog if you don't know him.
Look at this. I even have
this
for the camera.
It's a pamphlet.
Careful. You can't really see it on that one, but on this one you could. www.patrioticfrog.com.
They do all custom work too.
Yeah, custom work.
sometimes 6 or 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Yep.
Yeah.
There was those days, man. But all through when I was in school, I've working my whole life. I'd never not had a job, even from the age of 5 up. And people today are complaining. You know, it's funny. Well,
there's nobody that delivers newspapers anymore.
No.
I mean, that's what I did. My brother did. Friends in the neighborhood did. You know, we delivered papers. You know, one person would give up the route to get a better. You know, you start with the bunny buyer.
The free paper.
Right.
Go to
you got like you got a half a cent per paper you delivered.
Yep.
And you know, whatever you got paid at the end of the month, $25. You know, for an 8-year-old, that's good money.
Remember, I used to every once in a while when my friend would go on vacation, I'd go run his route for him.
Yeah, and then you'd move up to the Beacon. So the one guy would give up his job because he kind of outgrew it and now got a job at McDonald's.
That was a good job.
You take the Beacon and you get 5 cents a paper.
When you used to deliver papers, you used to get tipped. When you had to go around and collect. Kind of a pain in the ass to go.
Oh, yeah.
When you're like 13 years old going and collecting. But you used to get tips when you did that. And then they took that away where they started just doing electronic billing. And we still had a paperman at the time. It was funny. So we still had a paperman at the time who would just drive by in his car and throw the paper out in my driveway.
Yeah.
When I was still getting that was when I was getting the Tribune. But he didn't give a shit. So oftentimes paper would be at the end of my driveway, soaking wet. The bag would unroll when he threw the paper. And then I'd get a notice every once in a while, hey, do you want to give your guy a tip? I'm like, no, not really. No, not really, because he's shitty delivery and shitty service. It used to be paper was on the front door. It wasn't in the driveway. It was on the front door. And the people
expected that.
Yep.
They'd be right there on the front patio door, next to the door.
Yep.
Instead of, you know, and then there was times where, yes, I still remember one house. The guy was always kind of an ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he had like 2 or 3 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that far. And one time, you know, you're like, hey, this guy never, you know, pays on time, whatever it is. You know, you take the paper one day and you kind of throw it and you try to hit it and you break a window. Then you have to pay for the window.
I remember
one time you're sorry.
I helped a friend's sister. There was a house that had a front door and a side door. And she told me, she's like, you got to make sure you do this, make sure you do this there. Well, I got it wrong when I ran up there. They called half hour later bitching about where's their paper. Where's their paper? Wasn't like they would go out and check the other door just in case. So I'd drive back over their house. Said, you know what? Sorry, we put it by the wrong door. Well, we want it at the right door. I go drive back over their house, pick it up from their front door, and go drop it at their side door.
Which is probably like 5 feet away.
Right.
From each
yes.
other.
It was like, how big of an ass are you? Like,
yeah.
That was.
You know, kids are doing a job now. Try to find a kid that do mow grass or even shovel, you know, snow. It's impossible. Now you have people paying these big companies, startup companies, I don't know, landscaping, that do a job that most people can do themselves. You know, I mean,
you know,
I guess with the older people or whatever, seasonal, but
that sucks for, like, if you're a kid now who wants to work, like, that whole opportunity of income has gone away.
Yeah.
Right. Like, used to be work in the neighborhood. You don't need to have your stupid work permit. You can get there because they know you have to have a work permit at 15. You can't even, like, company can't hire you till you're 15 to work part-time. So, like, if you're below 15, how do you make money? I wanted to make money from the time I, you know, as young as I can remember. So I used to go mow lawns. I used to go around people and, like, see if there's anything they needed done. I used to go rake leaves and make cash that way and help people around the house and make cash.
Yeah.
Now it's not the companies, it's not the landscapers' fault.
No,
it's because kids didn't want to work, so I came in. But the next generation, as they want to, that opportunity is not there anymore.
There's a lot of landscaping companies that do great work. I mean, I've had them do something in the fall because I could not get to it.
No.
You know, I was too busy working. So I actually had to hire, you know, a company to come by and do it. And it wasn't cheap, you know, but I could never have some company just come cut my grass all the time because I actually enjoyed doing it.
Right.
Had a little time back there just cutting it.
But what I miss, honestly, is when kids would go become entrepreneurial, they'd go make flyers. Go get flyers made.
And then hand them out.
Yeah, hand them out. They used to go door to door, go hand flyers out. That part of the entrepreneurial spirit is gone. Like, kids don't even know that anymore. It's, I'm going to be an influencer. I'm going to make videos and get likes.
Yeah.
That's the new entrepreneurial path is, can I become an influencer and get people like my videos? And I'll be a complete asshole to get it too. I'll go exploit people. I'll go be an asshole and block people in the mall. Look at this. It's a prank. Stupid videos.
Yeah.
That's what's heroic now.
Well, Bobby, you said, well, what happened with Illinois turning everyone felons? Well, It's still being worked out. We talked about this earlier. There's a temporary TRO right now, but it's
we're still felons here.
We're still felons. Yeah.
If you're a part of the 800 that were in the lawsuit down south in Effingham,
you're not until February 1st.
I can't believe it wasn't every gun store and every anything gun.
Well, I think because they take on so many people, and each one of the groups that are doing it's taking on so many people, but they're trying to get it to the next level. You know, you divide and conquer. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I guess having everybody in one big ball.
I guess you got to be in that district, but I can't believe there's only what you said, three gun stores.
Yeah, I believe only 3.
There's no way there's only just 3 gun stores there.
The rest were just citizens.
Maybe there is. What do I know? Maybe there's only 3 gun stores down there. It's hard to believe, but maybe.
So I mean, it's going to be a process. It could take up to 2 years, 3 years.
What we need to do is what that crazy guy talked about. Chicago becomes its own state. Chicago. Kendall, I can't believe Kendall County was for this. Whatever those counties were there for this, let them be their own state, and then the rest of Illinois be another state. And then so we can have, for Republican, you can actually have a voice in the state because right now you get overran by the Democrats in Chicago. Let Chicago be its very own state, and Pritzker can go be the governor of that state, and they can they can go have all their own laws and be super liberal and let crime go on out of control, and the rest of us we can have a voice and we can actually vote for president. It'll actually make a difference. We can do what makes us happy. This is what Colorado just went through like 2 years ago. Same shit.
Yeah. And they wanted to get divided, right? The southern half wanted to be their own because they're more conservative than the northern half.
Problem is we can't even get that done because they'll go to a vote and the Democrats will say no. Well, and they have the majority in the state.
Is there any Republicans running against mayor?
Yeah, there's like 6 of them.
6 of them that are running.
There's 2 other.
Most of them are Democrats.
I think there's 2 other Republicans.
But you don't see no commercials for them.
No, they're all fringe.
Yeah.
I don't know how she looks like a zombie to me. I always feel like she's coming out with like a zombie. Like I don't know if she's even alert. They keep on saying crime's better. It's no better. We had a pandemic. It kept people indoors for a while.
They said she's already spent like $30 million just in a month. How big is her fucking war chest?
See, well, what needs to happen is you get some more of that shit happening up in Lincoln Park and on Michigan Avenue again. She'll be gone quickly. You gotta get up because people don't care if it's affecting the South Side. They don't give a shit. That's not where the voices are. The voices are the wealthy donors who live up in Lincoln Park. Those are people who push and make decisions.
Well, what needs to happen in Chicago is get rid of the food deserts, add some businesses where people can actually make money and actually live a lifestyle instead of just joining a gang, because there's no work in that area. That's just what they know. Now make a community better, brighten it up, make it where young people actually can learn a skill.
Yeah. I agree. But it all starts. You're gonna get people to want to go to find that they can see, truly believe there's a better path than gang.
So Bobby's saying most states would fall without the major city or cities.
Yeah, it's true. That's where the money comes from. That's where all the big businesses are. That's where all the tax dollars come from. Unfortunately, it's true. The biggest corporations in the state are in Chicago.
But if you cut the state off, and they can come to a friendlier side with less taxes, you'll get those.
Can you fund? Yeah, what Bobby's saying is, can you fund the state? It's a lot of roads to take care of. It's a lot of infrastructure to take care of. Is there enough of us outside of Chicago to fund the rest of it? That's the challenge. You need that income. You need those tax dollars from those big corporations. Think when they're based in Chicago, they pay a ton of sales tax. Right? You got the corporations down there that have the 100-story buildings, generate a ton of revenue for the state
and for the city.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the problem. So what you need to do is you need to make section of Chicago off. Then you need to have another major hub in Illinois that's becomes a major city.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not Springfield. That's small and a shithole, and so there's not much down south here that makes it grow. Although, Ottawa's growing, Bloomington's growing. It's not big enough yet to get there.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
But there's a lot of in the suburb areas of Chicago that has big businesses.
Well, funny is
The problem is,
yeah, but
yeah,
it's the amount of revenue there was. Right, Caterpillar used to be here. They left.
They left.
A bunch of
Sears used to be here. They
Sears
left. They actually went bankrupt.
Yeah. So
McDonald's left here, went to the city.
right, it's because when you jack taxes through the roof, companies aren't going to stay here.
Yeah.
They all left. And most of the people the highest earners in the state retired and went to Tennessee. We had so many people tell us that they're going to Tennessee to get out of here at retirement time. So you had the boomer generation, who were the higher executives in companies over the last 10 years, have been retiring in droves and moving out of the state.
Well, because this way they don't get their retirement income taxed.
Think about it. Those are dollars you need back. Those are dollars you need back into the state. They move, and then I'm a Tennessee resident now, so now when I take my Roth out, I'm going to pay taxes here to Tennessee rather than Illinois.
That's right, which is much
where I avoided
less.
taxes for the last 30 years.
Right. Florida, Texas,
Yeah.
Tennessee, Arkansas.
Right. Anywhere that's cheaper than here, has less taxes, less stupidity going on, they'll get there.
Yeah.
Hell, I want to move out of the state. I'd love it here, but I want to move out of the state. I hate winter, hate it with a passion, but I stay here. I like it here. But more and more, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I want to run away.
Well, you want to?
We're there?
Yeah, sure. Say we're there. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Next week we'll have the
let's off the runners up.
Runners up. The other two runners
so
up.
I'm gonna get a good prize. We'll announce the winning name. I think you guys will like it. But that's it. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you guys for all your support as always.
Yep, and don't forget to keep your head on a swivel. All right.
What about your powder dry? We're not keeping powder dry anymore.
I used
to say that all the time.
No, I never said that. I kept my own powder dry.
He's old enough that he still uses powder.
Yeah, by
each
ramrod and everything
with each round, because it's the weapon he's most used to.
Yes, Bobby, winners from the contest since you missed.
Gee, Bobby, you have to tune into all the episodes. You can't be a part-time listener. You miss out.
It's for the new coffee we're calling.
If you missed the episode, you can always go back on YouTube and watch it. And Bobby, since you're at home doing nothing, watch a couple episodes, catch up. Bobby, here's the thing: we made a new coffee. We're gonna donate a big portion of it to help to fund the legal battles that are fighting to keep our right here. And so last week we had a naming contest. Submit your name. We picked one. Next week we're gonna announce the runners up. So thank you everybody for doing that. Appreciate you guys participating. Always makes it awesome.
All right. Till next week.
Catch you guys next week. Thank you guys.
Bye.